Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to our channel. As always, it's me, Ivan, and I'm back with another watch review. When we talk about consistently solid affordable watches, St. Martin usually comes to mind. But today I've got something from a different brand that deserves your attention. Chronos. This is my first experience with one of their watches, and I have to say, I'm impressed. The Chronos L6037M is a refined, well-built timepiece that takes clear inspiration from the Grand Seiko Night Birch. But at around $188 with my discount codes, it delivers a ton of value at a fraction of the price. I ordered this watch from the Chronos Watches store on AliExpress during one of their sales, and it cost me €189. Right now it's priced a little higher, but as I mentioned, you can use store coupons and discount codes to bring the price down to almost what I paid for it. This model is available in two different colors, white and dark grey, and you can choose between a PT5000 or a Sellita SW200 movement. Here is a quick look at the packaging this model comes in. It's a rather nice carrying case that includes the watch, the usual paperwork, a spring bar tool, and a screwdriver of the correct size that comes in handy for resizing the bracelet. Alright, let's start talking about the watch, and as always I would like to do so by going through the dimensions. This Chronos measures 38mm in diameter. It has a lug-to-lug of 47mm, a thickness of just 10.8 and a 20mm lug width. These dimensions make it a very wearable watch that will suit a variety of wrist sizes. At 38mm, it's right in the sweet spot between being elegant and sporty, while the slim 10.8mm case height ensures it slides comfortably under a cuff. Sized for my 17cm or 6.7-inch wrist, it weighs 135 grams, it wears very comfortably, and it just feels refined and well made. Guys, speaking of refined, right out of the box, the L6037M impresses with its finishing. The case is predominantly brushed, giving it a two-watch aesthetic, but the polished bezel and chamfered edges add a bit of elegance. These polished surfaces catch the light beautifully, making the watch feel far more premium than its price suggests. As I mentioned at the very beginning, the case design is heavily inspired by Grand Seiko, and while that might not be the most original approach, it's done exceptionally well here. You won't find any Zaratsu polishing, but considering that you can grab one of these for less than $200, you'll be very pleasantly surprised with how well made this watch is. By the way, thanks to the screw-down crown and case back, this model's water resistance is rated at 100 meters, which is also a great touch for an everyday watch. The bracelet is another standout feature. It follows the Grand Seiko style with fully brushed links and polished chamfered edges. It integrates seamlessly with the case, giving the watch a cohesive and well-thought-out design. The clasp is milled with an on-the-go micro-adjustment system, the same one we've seen on some St. Martin watches, and it works flawlessly, offering easy fine-tuning for a perfect fit. On the wrist, this bracelet feels amazing. It doesn't have any sharp edges, and it simply contributes to the high-quality feel of the watch. One thing worth mentioning is that the bracelet links are joined together with some fairly small screws. Fortunately, Chronos includes a screwdriver in the packaging, which is a great touch because I didn't have one small enough on hand. Yes, it's a small detail, but trust me, it makes a big difference in the overall experience with purchasing this watch. Now let's talk about the dial, easily the most interesting aspect of this watch. It features a deep textured surface inspired by the Grand Seiko Night Birch, and I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by how good it looks in person. I initially had concerns that the texture might look plasticky, but it doesn't. Instead, it has a graphite-like appearance, and the level of detail here is actually impressive, especially at this price point. The applied indices and hands are polished to a mirror-like finish, catching and reflecting light beautifully, and the date window is neatly positioned at 3 o'clock. I know some people would prefer an all-date version, but in this case, it's well executed, and it doesn't disrupt the balance of the dial. When it comes to the Lume, chronos have gone with Super Luminova BGW9, and it performs as expected. BGW9 is known for its cool blue glow, and while there isn't a ton of it, it's definitely more than enough for an everyday watch. The hands and indices are evenly coated, and the glow lasts a reasonable amount of time in the dark. Next, we need to mention the movement. Inside the L6037M is the PT5000, which, as many of you know, is an ETA 2824 clone. I've had great experiences with this movement in the past, and this watch is no exception. In my testing, it's running at just 4 seconds fast per day in the dial-up position, with a beat error of only 0.1 milliseconds, which is some of the best performance I've seen from a PT5000. Once again, you can pay $100 more and go for a Sellita SW200, but in my opinion, it's not necessary. So what's the verdict, guys? Well, considering this is my first experience with Chronos watches, I have to say I'm thoroughly impressed. The L6037M delivers exceptional build quality, a beautifully finished case and bracelet, a movement that performs far better than I expected, and an intriguing dial. I'm not entirely happy with the logo, as it looks like a 5-year-old did it in paint, but besides that, at around $200 I think this watch is a steal. If you love the Grand Seiko Night Birch design but aren't ready to drop thousands of dollars, this is definitely an option you may want to consider. And if you're interested in more Grand Seiko inspired watches, check out my review of the Addis Dive AD2075. That one is also an homage to the Night Birch, though not as refined as this Chronos. Still, it's cheaper and offers a great look for the price. In fact, I think I like the dial of the Addis Dive a little bit more. As always, this is just my opinion, so let me know your thoughts in the comments and check the description for the discount codes if you're interested in picking one of these up. That's the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I've got some cool watches coming up soon, including the new San Martin GMT, the latest release from Phoebus, and plenty more. So if you don't want to miss those, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.